The Los Angeles Kings are wrapping up their week-long developmental camp at the Toyota Sports Center in El Segundo. Many of the team's top prospects are in attendance, hoping to gain some valuable experience. I was able to talk with Kings head coach Mark Crawford in between sessions.
Now that camp is almost over, do you have a better idea of where some of the players are talent-wise?
Absolutely. These development camps are exactly that. We're trying to grab the players that we've identified as good players that have a prospect of playing in the National Hockey League and try and give them some drills and some ideas of the areas that they need to improve. For some players, forwards, it's maybe about puck protection, it's maybe about developing a few more moves, a little bit more understanding of how to play with and without the puck. For the defensemen, it's a lot about reads on pressure and contain. There is some puck protection for defensemen, and it gives us a great chance in a smaller group to get to know the players, to get to understand how they play, and give them a better idea and better input as to the areas that they need to develop in order to become top-notch candidates for the LA Kings.
Now that you've been working with them in smaller groups, have there been any standouts that really kind of made their name during this camp?
Well, partway through the week, we had two separate groups. We had a group at the start of the week, a group at the end of the week, and in the middle of the week, we brought them all together, and we did a lot of focus on our team play, so systems play, defensive zone coverage, offensive zone play, a little bit of special teams, and therefore we got a real good idea of the skill set of the players, the vision of the players, and just their understanding and their ability to grasp our concepts pretty quickly. From that standpoint, we really did get a good idea of who's close to being a candidate to play for us and who needs a little bit more seasoning.
Are there any that might possibly make the team outright?
Well, absolutely. We have a couple of players that were here during the week that did play for us last year. John Zeiler, Patrick O'Sullivan, Joe Piscula on defense, Peter Harold on defense. Those are all players that will be vying for positions with the Kings this year. You add to them some of our top picks over the last few years. Lauri Tukkanen has looked real good in this camp. He's a former first rounder from 2 years ago. Our first rounder from this year, Thomas Hickey, looked extremely good. We've got a couple of great looking wingers in Wayne Simmons and in Dwight King. They're both big, strong guys that look to protect the puck well. They're only 18 years old, so I would think that they're going to need some development at the other league levels, but we're excited about the prospects that we have. We've got some good ones on defense, we've got some good ones at forwards, and in this particular camp, Jonathan Bernier is here as well, and he's a top flight candidate for us as a goaltender, as well as young Zatkov from the University of Miami of Ohio. And we know that we've got to develop a great goaltender here for the Kings, and those are two great candidates. Unfortunately for us, a couple of other great candidates, Jonathan Quick and Eric Erzberg, aren't at this camp, but they'll be here early in, or late in August and early in September, and we'll get a good idea of where they're at.
Does it look like now that Garon's gone, the goaltending has now been sort of shored up for the Kings?
Well, we're better than we were last year. If you look at the situation that we came into last year, we were looking to make a change in the goaltending. We identified that as an area that had to improve. We made the decision to anoint Dan Cloutier the #1 guy, and that was really the wrong thing for the organization, and that was a mistake that I made. I won't make that same mistake this year. We're going to make Dan earn everything that he gets. He's come off 2 very tough years of injury, and I think we anticipated that he would rebound quicker than he did. And in the fallout, poor Jason LaBarbera was banished to the minors, and he had a great year. Thankfully, we didn't use him. He's going to be a candidate for us. And on the other side of that, thought that we've got to look at Dan and hopefully allow him the ability to come in the right environment where he's got to earn everything. And I think Dan is going to accept that challenge and do everything he can to try and be one of the goaltenders that we use. On the other side of it, from our young prospects, we've got 3 great ones that are signed now in the 2 Jonathans, Jonathan Bernier and Jonathan Quick. and Eric Erzberg, who was a top goaltender in Europe last year, and they're going to give us top flight goaltending to choose from. So we should have some healthy competition in camp. And again, we won't make the same mistakes we made last year, and I think we're in better form. No doubt we have to get better in that area, and I think in the future you can see that our goaltending looks bright because we've got these bright top-end prospects. It's going to take some time for them to develop.
Do you think that with Lubomir's new contract, does that shore up the D and help those goaltenders be more successful this next season?
Anytime you've got a great defense in front of your goaltenders, it's going to help. I think the structure of how we play is going to aid our goaltenders. We want them to not face 15, 16 point-blank chances every night. We want to limit those high-end chances to as few as we possibly can. At the same time, we're a puck possession team. We're a team that encourages offensiveness from our defense. We encourage creativity. And we know that in order to play that style, your goaltender is going to have to make some saves for you. So I think it'll be a little bit of a balancing act for us here in the Los Angeles Kings. We want a balance between being creative offensively and having a good, strong defensive base. I believe we have the defensive group to do that, and also the forwards have to have the responsibility and take ownership of how we play without the puck so that we're not giving up unnecessary high-end chances.
Outstanding. Well, thank you very much.